Me and Ayatollah. Okay, guys, there's a lot going on right now. US Iran war. We're just gonna follow it today. I missed it for a few days, I think. So, Iran US war latest 10 US service members injured after strike on Saudi air base as Rubio says war over in weeks. Why is Rubio saying the war is gonna be over in weeks? That's not happening. I mean, it's already been weeks. We haven't made any sort of progress. I mean, the Strait of Hormuz is still closed. We are still bombing Iran. We're still bombing Lebanon. Israel is kind of doing it. And we have not seen any victory. We have not seen any regime change. We have not seen anyone getting up from the Iranian liberals. We've not seen them actually getting up and doing anything. And I know they've got an argument saying that bombs are falling right now, so the liberals cannot actually get on the streets and actually go for the regime change themselves. But if they can't go, then how are we going to do it? And now we are sending the troops everywhere. We're sending the troops to Iran. So it's boots on the ground now. It's not going to be helpful. An Iranian missile has struck the Prince Sultan Air Base in Saudi Arabia, wounding several U.S. service members, and we are just giving our lives away, to be honest. A lot of people are actually dying. Several U.S. refueling aircraft and 10 service members were injured, the Wall Street Journal reported. The latest escalation comes after U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio's last update on the war suggested a conflict would last weeks, not months, and Iran had indicated a willingness to talk about certain things. You know what they should do? They should quit right now. They should quit right now. Just kind of apologize like a little bitch. That's what they should do. Or the other thing could be Donald Trump can just paint the narrative. He's so good at painting the narrative. That's what he's been doing his whole life. Just paint the narrative, say, we won the war. We won the war. Made a deal with Ayatollah. Just like they asked him about the Strait of Hormuz, and Donald Trump said that me and Ayatollah are going to run it. This guy is literally saying me and Ayatollah, and it seems like they go way back. They used to be little friends. They used to take rides together. They used to play all the sports together. Me and Ayatollah are going to run it. Now, let me tell you something. Ayatollah is the guy whose mom, whose dad, whose siblings, whose wife, everybody got killed by Donald Trump. Donald Trump killed every single one of them. Do you really think that he's going to make a deal with you? Do you really think that's what he's coming for right now? I mean, either the Ayatollah is dead, or if he's not dead, he ain't making no deal with them. Mahatma Gandhi for president, I am totally down for it. If you can bring Gandhi down, if you can bring his spirit and put it in a different body, I'm down with it. Gandhi for peace, man. I'm going to watch a couple of AI videos of him. I don't know if they're actually AI. Maybe Gandhi is alive. I'm down to accept any of the conspiracy theories right now. Nothing kind of bothers me right now. I'm okay with everything. Okay, Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps has closed the Strait of Hormuz, adding that any transit through the waterway will face harsh measures, according to state media. Mr. Rubio raised concerns that Iran could operate the strait using a tolling system if their control over the waterway persisted. He also said that he believed that U.S. could achieve its goals in Iran without ground troops. What are the goals? That's what I want to know. He said, Marco Rubio is saying he's concerned. He's concerned. He's basically saying that U.S. could achieve its goal in Iran, could achieve its goals. Could you please elaborate what the goals are? Could you please let me know what the goals are? I haven't seen any goals yet. What does Islam say about Kabbalah and black magic? Oh my God. Islam says something about you mean Qibla and black magic. So Qibla is the place where the Muslims actually go for worship, Hajj, and black magic. Also, there's something about black magic, by the way. If you read the Quranic verses of Quran in the opposite direction, so if you read it from the end to the beginning, you can do black magic. I think that's the concept behind it. And that's why nobody actually reads the Quranic verses backward. I don't know how you read it. I don't know how that's even possible, how you would actually be able to do it, reading it backwards. But that can cause black magic, and there's evidence of it in the hadith. The black magic actually happened. And some people actually believe it even happened to the Holy Prophet. Now, the thing about the Qibla and the black magic, I think there's something behind it as well. If you take the Qibla cloth and you do the black magic on that, maybe there was like a prophecy about it. Are you referring to the Epstein incident where he asked like one of the sheikhs from Dubai to actually send him a cloth, Qibla cloth? I can actually do a bit of research on that. I can't give you the exact like the words of the Quran or like the Hadith, but I can Google it right now. Uh, but there is definitely something about it. By the way, do you actually believe in black magic? By the way, ABDS, do you believe in black magic? Do you believe it actually exists? Do you think there's people in this world who are actually performing black magic? Yo, Fike, how's it going, bro? You're right. Do you believe, by the way, Fike, let me ask you one question. Do you think all of the MAGA supporters actually suck ass? Just wanted to ask this question. I'm kind of pissed at them because they find a way to defend it. Okay, in Islamic tradition, you do believe in magic. Yeah, there are people who can perform miracles. I think we're kind of on the same page. Okay, the Qibla direction, Maga, bro. Maga, what is wrong with Maga? Like, what is Maga, by the way? Maga is completely broken down. It's torn down. People in MAGA don't actually believe in MAGA anymore. And they got like a new view of MAGA, which is like just defending Donald Trump. You're just going to defend Donald Trump. Donald Trump does a campaign for like the presidency in 2024. He says, no wars, no wars. MAGA is like, no wars. We're not going to have any wars. There were no weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. They destroyed Iraq, killed 1 million people. They destroyed Afghanistan. They shouldn't have done it. Give the regime back to Taliban again. What was the point of going to Afghanistan? All of the MAGA supporters are saying those things in 2024. And then 2025 happens. And then Trump starts like 7 wars. And then all of the MAGA supporters are like, we said no forever wars. We didn't say no wars. When did we actually say that? I mean, that's like a quick regime change. That's what we're doing right now. And then Trump says that war can actually turn out to potentially be a forever war. We might have the boots on the ground. And MAGA supporters are, but Iran is so bad. We might have to do something now. We might have to put the boots on the ground for Iran. It's a specific case. It's a different case. It's not like Iraq. Like Iran and Iraq don't have the similarities. Iraq didn't have the weapons of mass destruction. Iran is actually making weapons. They're down like 60% enrichment of the uranium. Do you think Trump is going to try and pull some stuff to stay in office after this term? I think Trump is going to try to do a lot of stuff. But here's the thing. Trump is going to lose all of the power in the midterms because he will just be like a sitting duck. He's going to lose badly to Democrats. So what I want to see is, or what I am suspecting actually, is Trump actually pulling a stunt before that. So he tried to pull the war stunt. He thought they would be able to get a lot of people behind him. So the thing is, because of the Epstein files, Trump's stock actually went down. And he was like, okay, I'm going to pull a stunt out with the Iran war. Actually, Israel is on the same page as well. Israel's been yearning to do it for like 40 years. If I get to do that and actually get some votes from like some of the Democrats as well who actually like to stay in wars, it might be good for me. But because of the Iranian war, the stock went down. You know what Trump is actually planning? According to Trump, it would have been a very easy job. Like they would have gone to Iran. They would have killed Khamenei, had a quick regime change, come back and be like, oh, that came very easy, actually, just like Venezuela. And he got a bit of support from Venezuela, right? So he was like, I'm going to do something like I did in Venezuela. He didn't realize that Iran is actually 4 times the size of Iraq. And Iran is not such a simple country. The area, the geography of Iran is very complicated, actually. It's very complicated. And Iranian people are warriors. If you read about the Persian Empire, you know those people actually don't back down. They like to fight. So it didn't turn out to be that way. And his stock actually went down massively. Like the Epstein files took his stock down like this. And the war actually took his stock down like completely down. And now Trump is like, shit, I fucked up. And I was like, I'm going to completely get destroyed in the midterms. And now he's coming up with the ideas. Sometimes he's like trying to paint the narrative. He's like, no, we're winning the war. We're winning the war. We're winning the war. Who's controlling the Strait of Hormuz? He's like, me and Ayatollah are controlling the Strait of Hormuz. Nah, dude, you ain't controlling anything. They haven't made any deals with you. Now he's trying to paint the narrative. He's like, we're winning the war. We made the deals. The new regime is kind of cool. The Ayatollah is pretty cool with me. We're like boys. And yeah, it's happening. It's happening. Jeff Goldblum, illegitimate son, to be honest. I don't even know who Jeff Goldblum is. But that's what Trump is trying to do. And I am afraid that Trump would actually try to pull out a stunt. He might try to do something even crazier just to win the midterms, or maybe delay the midterms, like do something with it. But what I was thinking is, have you noticed that Trump actually mentions the third term a lot? Do you think he would actually be running for the third term? Do you think he would try to change some policies? The only thing is, I think he's going to lose a lot of power in the midterms. He would be like a sitting duck, so he wouldn't have a lot of power. And that's why third term would be very difficult for him. And once the Democrat actually comes into power, that's it for Trump. There's so many cases. There's already harassment cases. There's the 6th of January case. There's so much. So I don't think Democrats are gonna leave him like this. They're actually gonna put a lot. Dude, this guy did not even take a permission for the war, by the way. Didn't go through the Congress. He didn't go through the Senate. He just made a decision just using his own power. Didn't even tell UN about it. He's like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it. Okay, by the way, if AVDS is still online, I was checking about like black magic. You think Adesanya wins? Dude, Adesanya is gonna win. Piper is a bit basic. Yeah, I kind of get it. Piper, the one thing about Piper is like his power is ridiculous. He's explosive, he's fast, he's got those fast twitch muscles, and he touches and people go to death. And I know Joe Rogan likes to hype up people a lot, right? Joe Rogan would actually say, well, this guy hits harder than a Ford truck. This guy he hit the machine and the machine actually broke. This guy hits harder even than Francis Ngannou. He was hyping Piper too much, so maybe Piper's not that good, but Piper is actually very explosive. So what Izzy's got to do is Izzy's got to make him dodge, make him miss, and then just chop him from outside, which I think Izzy's going to be able to do. I think Izzy's too sharp. Now, the question is, like, is Joe Piper going to try to mix in the wrestling? Because he does have a bit of a wrestling background. But the question is Izzy in his prime? Is Izzy coming up with a proper game plan? Is he coming up with a proper camp? If we see the prime Izzy, Piper is easy work for him. I know Izzy can do the setups, chop his legs from outside, mix in with a head kick, that's a job done. He would have to amend some constitution to stay, but I wouldn't put anything past him. This is the thing, it's hard to like question Trump, right? It's really hard to actually dismiss it because we've seen Trump putting up so many stunts, we've seen him putting up so many things that it's like, it's not unbelievable, right? It looks like he would not be able to do it. I mean, technically he shouldn't have that power, but it's nothing is unbelievable right now because of the power that he owes right now. And because of the limits that this guy is willing to cross. Was you raised by wolves? I was actually raised by wolf. Yeah, I'm a Wolverine. Oh. Yeah, I do that sometimes. That's why my name is Wolfpack. I have a brother from the pack as well who got separated from me when we were kids, but now we became friends again. Craft Davy, don't go out. Don't go out. No. Just because I did that, you think I'm kind of crazy? Okay, by the way, somebody in the chat actually asked a question about black magic. And they were like, what is the relationship between the black magic and the Kaaba? Oh my God, what is it saying actually? So I thought there was like a relationship between Kaaba and the black magic. This is something about the cloth of Kaaba. If you take the cloth of Kaaba, you can actually perform black magic. I thought there was like a prophecy behind it as well. Mr. Lyrical. Yo, I'm from UK as well. There you go, man. Respect that. In Islamic tradition, the Qibla, direction of prayer towards Kaaba, is sacred focal point for virtue. While black magic is strictly prohibited and considered a major sin, there is no inherent or traditional connection between the Qibla and the practice of black magic, as the latter is forbidden. All right, the direction towards the Kaaba in Makkah used by Muslims for daily prayers represent a unity and submission to God. Okay, so the black magic is actually forbidden in Islam, but Islamic people actually believe that you can do black magic if you're doing reciting the Quranic verses in the opposite direction. So if you're reciting it backwards, that can possibly cause black magic. And there have been examples of people who have performed black magic in the past. Did you watch the Joshua Wan fight I told you to watch last week? Watch Wan versus Ray Tsura, and you will see Wan's part to beat Tara. Or do you want me to watch it right now? I actually didn't get the time, but I was thinking about it, but I was like, oh man, I'm not getting the time. So let me just pull up the fight actually. Forbidden in Islam is associated with supernatural acts through evil spirits or forbidden means, viewed as harmful and spiritually dangerous. Sometimes confused with black magic. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is shit, my charging is low. All right. Okay, I'm gonna pull up our fight. What's the name of the guy? Did you watch the fight between Joshua Wan and Ray Tsura? I hope my YouTube is working actually. Don't disappoint me, YouTube. Yeah, my YouTube is working. That's good. That's good. That's good. We're watching it. I hope they don't block my stream because of the fight. I hope there's not like copyright on the fight. Raid Surya. Full fight. Okay, we're gonna be watching the fight. Um, Mephilassi, is it true that most streamers are couch potatoes? Me and my body was arguing a lot about that. I don't think so. I don't think we're couch potatoes, by the way. I think a lot of streamers are, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie about this. But if you're talking about me, dude, I mean, I work 9 to 5. I mean, trust me. The source is like, trust me, bro. Trust me. I work 9 to 5, and then I do training as well. Like I try to compete. I mean, I have like an amateur boxing fight coming up in a few months. And what else do I do? I mean, I do martial arts, MMA. I tore my meniscus like 6 weeks ago, so which means I can't do anything with MMA when it comes to like the legs game. I can't kick. I cannot do any jiu-jitsu. I mean, I train with my friend in the gym where we kind of like go easy in jiu-jitsu, but when it comes to like actually taking the classes and sparring, I can't do anything like that. So boxing is kind of like a safest option for me right now. That's why I've got an amateur fight in boxing coming up, and definitely going to be preparing for that, man. Stream, actually, I do get your point. Stream actually takes a lot of time away from your work or whatever you want to do throughout the day. So it is kind of difficult to actually keep up with this, and that's why I've been not being very consistent with the stream. Like last time I streamed was like 2 days ago, and some people are actually literally streaming like 12 hours a day. But those are the guys that are streaming, just streaming. They're not doing anything else. So like they're kind of like recording every single thing that they're doing in a day. But for me personally, because I've got other commitments going on, it's difficult for me to stream every day. There were a few days when I was really injured and I couldn't train. Those are the days that I streamed more actually. Okay, so we found the fight. Bro, I don't think there's like a whole fight on that. Or is the fight only like 7 minutes, something seconds? Okay, so we're watching that. Uh, okay, the fight starts now. We're watching it. I mean, the guy's got long arms, but he is not as good of a okay, he's wrestling. One thing I could say, goalie. One thing I could say, he's not as good of a striker as like Tatsuro Taro. It's not even close. Like this guy is kind of struggling with striking. He's chopping that. I don't even know what he's doing. Like he's throwing that jab from outside. There's no technique. Like he's not throwing like a proper jab. He's kind of doing this. So I feel like his striking is quite shit. Okay, now he's shooting for the takedown. You know, even the takedown entries, it's not the same. It's not going to be the same fight because I'm like looking at the takedown entry, right? It's very telegraphed. Like you're supposed to be, when you're a good MMA fighter, you're supposed to like fake. You kind of like bounce on your feet and then shoot for the takedown. He's more like, he's not even doing any of that. He's not doing any feints. He's just directly going to the legs. It's pretty telegraphed. And Joshua Wen knows when he's shooting for the takedown, it's just kind of easier to actually defend the takedowns. This shit's fake, dude. What shit are you talking about? We're watching UFC, bro. It's not WWE, by the way. Okay. I mean, he's got the clinch, he's got the underhooks, and he's kind of like pressing Joshua Wen against a cage. UFC isn't real, dude. Dude, I'm getting offended. Are you serious, bro? Do you not watch UFC? Joe Rogan is a character? What character is he playing? Ball character? I am aware, but Van is gonna overwhelm Tyra with boxing pressure, I think. But I just think that Van is, bro. I think Tatsuro Tyra is so good, like on the feet. He's so good on the feet. Plus, his takedown timing is much better. Watch his fight against Brandon Moreno. When he was actually shooting for the takedowns, none of it was kind of telegraphed. It was like, it was so good. And Tyra doesn't have to like desperately shoot for the takedowns because he can hold himself on the feet with Van. Van is definitely a better striker. Van can actually pressure him. That's true. And I like that about Van. He doesn't get pressure against the cage. But I just think is going to be... Okay, Royval versus Tyra. I'm going to watch that. Because Royval is also a pressure striker. Oh, that was good. That was good hook. That was good fake hook. Oh, Van is beating him up. Van is beating him up. Van is defending all the takedowns. I think Van is actually very hard to get taken down because he's like takedown defense. His balance is pretty good. Does Van drive Van? I'm not sure about it, man. He's kind of like, he is a Van himself. He's literally a Van that doesn't stop. Pressure Van. Dana is also a character. Tyra has bad boxing defense on the back foot. Okay, that I'm gonna have to watch. I need to watch him versus Royval, then I will be able to find out because Royval is also like a pressure fighter. He puts a lot of output on. Giovanni Medic is saying yes, that one. Which one? Okay, Van is kind of separating it, and now Van is just putting it on him. The other guy is not even shooting. Good teep by Van. Van is kind of fainting as well. Van's boxing is on point. The other guy is going for the takedown, but it's like he doesn't have any power in the takedowns. I don't think he gets like a whole drive in the takedowns when he's shooting for the double. Since we're saying UFC and WWE are literally the same company. That is true, by the way. They both are owned by the TKO. And by the way, I would say UFC is kind of getting a bit fake. And by fake, I don't mean like the fights are literally fake. But it's like with the Paramount deal, it's like they're paying a lot of attention to the fighters who are like fan-friendly fighters, who have the let's say the barbaric sort of fighting style, the fighters who like to put the pressure on, the fighters who kind of play dumb and like put their lives on the risk. These fighters are getting more of like a recognition right now, like the Justin Gaethje, those are fighters, and like Paddy Pimblett. Those are getting more recognition because they make more money for UFC, and Paramount is all about that, right? So I do understand that part. It's not about the best fighting the best. It's about who has the more fans and who has got more fan-friendly style now. But who will win the Itoma fight tomorrow? I believe Itoma actually takes it. I believe he actually takes it. Look, I haven't watched a lot of him, but whatever I have watched is like he is pretty impressive. He's one of those guys who's got combinations. He's pretty young. He's like 19, 20, whatever he is. And he's got speed, man. He's got speed, so I'm rooting for him. What I want to see is him versus Usyk. Might be too early for him. And I don't even know if Usyk would actually take that fight, to be honest. Damn, so it is fake. It is fake. It is fake. UFC is actually fake. You know when they're throwing the punches, when they're actually punching your head? They're not actually doing that. They're not doing that. And you know the hands that you see? They're not even actual hands. You think, when you look at the hands, you think that's actually like a fist? There's like a bone inside? Nah, dude. They're wearing like a skin mask. They basically have like a skin mask, and inside a skin mask, there's a cushion. There's a cushion. And you know the blood that is coming out? It's not actually blood. It's not blood. It's like a red syrup that they have, and that's what they do. But those guys train for it. They rehearse the matches in advance, and that's how they were able to do it. And that's how they're able to fool everyone and make money out of it. So you are correct. And Dana White actually has hair. That baldy thing that he has is actually a football. It's actually a football that he painted with a skin color. It's not his head. It's kind of crazy though. Okay, so the fight is happening. Oh my god, he went for the head kick and jabbing across. Oh, Van is so good at slipping though. I like that. I like that. Van is good at slipping. I mean, the other guy is getting with a right hook. So like he saw that every time he jabs, Van is gonna slip. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna fake the jab and then I go for the right hook. That he landed like a few times. Harold Fielding, take one punch from a UFC fighter and make your mind up. Me not being a UFC fighter, if I caught you correctly on the chin, you will become a meme. Are you talking to me about, bro? Are you talking to me? I watched UFC, dude. I was responding. They punch in WWE too, bro. That is also true. They punch in WWE as well. By the way, Harold Fielding, don't get offended because I was actually replying to Skin Suit. Skin Suit was kind of fucking around with me, so I was like, let me reply to him in his language. I am a UFC fan, and I'm pretty sure that I would actually go to sleep. Maybe they don't even have to land a proper punch on me. They could just land like a part of the fist. I mean, John Jones could probably eye poke me and take my eyes out. Okay, so now you have Van actually on the ground. Okay, this is the first time I've actually... Van got back up, man. He's so good at getting back up. Oh, Van with a counter cross. Oh, Van head kicked him. He got the leg and he got Van down. So he's taking Van down. It's not like he's not taking Van down. Oh my god, he was gonna do the body to body slam. Like, how would you take, why would you take that big of a risk actually? You're having hard time just taking him down simply and you're gonna do like a body slam on him? It's the same shit, just different company. Yeah, but they both have the same parent company though. They both are owned by TKO. Okay, Joshua Wayne is just kind of walking him down. Oh my god, he did the arm throw on him. I can't believe this. This is crazy. He did arm throw in a UFC fight. I swear to God, I've never seen an arm throw in a UFC fight. You look handsome, twin. Thank you, bro, Miser Suhail. No Diddy, though. Okay, so... Oh, shit. I mean, Flash, you're kind of backing him up, yeah? All right, don't guess me up now. Here's the thing. Arm throw. Do you guys even know what an arm throw is? Do you guys... If you guys done any sort of freestyle wrestling, you probably know what an arm throw is. Arm throw is when the guy is behind you. It's like... Okay, it could be like two guys are actually trying to wrestle with each other. So they're kind of pressing each other, but then using the momentum of the other guy when my opponent actually tries to like push me back, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to separate his arm. I'm going to go down and I'm going to do an arm throw. And then he goes over me and then he lands on the floor. That's what the arm throw is. And it's kind of a difficult thing, to be honest. In wrestling, you can pull it. In wrestling, it's kind of, I wouldn't say easy to pull it off, but it's like okay to pull it off. But if you do it in MMA, that's kind of crazy, bro, because they can have your back. They can punch you, they can get your back and then choke you out and like all of that stuff. Alfie, how's it going? You're right. Flamed, all UFC fights are telegraphed. Harold Fielding is saying all the UFC fights are telegraphed. I don't even know what you guys are talking about, to be honest. CM Punk, Brock Lesnar, Ronda Rousey, the crossover all the time, totally fake. Here you go, bro. I don't even know. Dude, by the way, are you skin suit? Are you like trolling all the time? You gotta be trolling, bro. You gotta be trolling, to be honest. By the way, if you want like a serious answer on this, dude, I mean, Punk is a legend. But if you want a serious answer on this, can I actually give an answer, to be honest? Can I talk about this? Brock Lesnar was the NCAA heavyweight champion. Then Brock Lesnar became the WWE champion for 3 times. All right, just because he's a 3-time WWE champion doesn't mean that he didn't do NCAA. Now NCAA is like a freestyle wrestling of USA. He had a legit background over there. So when he actually came, who is the fastest ball of all time? Is Shoaib Akhtar with the fastest ball ever, 100 miles per hour. Who was the second one? Brett Lee, very close to him as well, 161 point something kilometer per hour. Yeah, I'm kind of tired, bro. I had a long day. Captain India is here. Masuka. Yo, Captain India, what is going on, bro? Do you think you can take Captain America in a fight? Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that Brock Lesnar actually had a legit freestyle wrestling background. Just because he WWE because he was a WWE champion doesn't mean that he can't actually wrestle, and that's why he was able to go to UFC successfully, was able to win like 5 fights and get the UFC heavyweight title. That's why he was able to do it. Now, CM Punk tried to do the same thing, but he could not do it because CM Punk does not have a legit wrestling background. This guy was like a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, but he had no MMA experience. He trained for like a few years, I think 1 or 2 years, and he was not even that good of an athlete, right? Because he was also at the end of his career. He did MMA when he was like 38 years old. So you're starting at 38 years old. Do you think you're going to be successful if you don't have any like strong background? And that's why I'm just playing, dude. You know your shit. Yo, Skinsuit, thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. So you've been trolling me for like an hour now. So as Captain India, I speak. I stay. Mr. Good, you're not even Indian, bro. I know what you're doing here. You're not even Indian. Who would win in a fight, John Jones or Stephen Hawkins? I think Stephen Hawkins can actually take him down. Like John Jones' best technique is to do the eye pokes. And the reason he's been able to do the eye pokes is because people are looking for the other techniques that he does. Like John Jones is very good at oblique kicks. He's good at spinning elbows. He's good at some other stuff. He's good at shooting the takedowns and getting you down. He's also very good at Greco-Roman. So people are looking for all of those things. There's so many tricks he's throwing your way, and that's why they get caught with the eye pokes. But with Stephen Hawking, you're not gonna catch him with an eye poke. That guy is a scientist. He's done, he's read everything. He knows about gravity and all of this. He knows the gravity of the situation. He will study John Jones in depth and he would have a plan for this. First of all, Stephen Hawking's brain is not even working like us. He's not going to be looking for all of those techniques. He's only going to be looking for what he needs to do in that fight. What do you think Stephen Hawking was actually doing on the island? Like this guy was able to do it. Made it to Epstein's Island. Don't underestimate it. That's what I'm saying here. Feeling like this guy made it to island on a wheelchair. That's what he did. Just imagine that on a wheelchair he was able to do it, and that we don't know the stuff that he actually pulled off on the island. That's kind of like unbelievable stuff, right? Prime, you definitely never saw prime Stephen Hawking. Don't even want to imagine the prime Stephen Hawking, dude. Even the old Stephen Hawking made it to the island. Prime Stephen Hawking, that's whole another shit. That's whole different conversation. He picked up raising a wheel. Yeah, that's what it is, man. He made the wheelchairs cool. That's the guy Stephen Hawking is. If you're ever doing like any marketing for the wheelchair, Stephen Hawking is the guy. That's how you're gonna sell the wheelchair. All right. So are you guys, by the way, are you guys watching the card tomorrow, Israel Adesanya versus Joe Pfeiffer? And what are your opinions on the card? I'm gonna play that fight again. Joshua Wen is down. He's getting ground and pound. Who was the guy who was trying to hype up? It was Goldie, right? He was trying to hype up Joshua Wen, saying that Joshua Wen's got such a strong takedown defense. I mean, he's down. He's down right now. He's getting held down by that guy, Surya. And by the way, Surya is not as good as Tetsuro Taira, man. They're not even comparable. Nowhere. Like, his ground game is pretty telegraphed. He doesn't have the same striking, so I don't know where you picked it out from. Okay, by the way, guys, if you haven't actually followed, if you haven't actually subscribed to my channel, please do it. That would mean a lot to me. Let me do like a bit of research on like Stephen Hawking. So how is Stephen Hawking? How did he die? By the way, I'm trying to remember actually. Stephen Hawking, and like what his accomplishments are. Has anyone seen the movie about Stephen Hawking? By the way. Okay, so Stephen Hawking was born in 1942 and he died in March 2018. Oh, he died in the same year when Epstein, no, the year before that, because Epstein died in 2019. Hawking died in 2018. Was normal before he caught his disease. Yeah, he was kind of normal. I think he lived the first 22 years of his life normal, and then he got the disease. And was he kind of a player? Was he like a playboy when he was young? Okay, so Stephen Hawking was diagnosed with motor neuron disease, ALS, at age 21 in 1960. Imagine if Stephen Hawking was faking all that shit. Imagine if he was actually all right. Are you richer than Mukesh Ambani? I wish I was. But I also wish that I didn't have the communication that he had with Epstein. While the diagnosis was made, then the paralysis was gradual, with the disease eventually confining him to a wheelchair and causing near total paralysis over the following decades. So he was diagnosed at the age of 21 years old. The disease was slow progressing. So it was slowly that he came on the wheelchair, became wheelchair bound. Despite his severe physical limitations, Hawking continued his groundbreaking work in physics and cosmology. Oh my god, what do you think his IQ level was actually? It must have been pretty high. Around 160. Who's got the highest IQ level, by the way? We didn't need Stephen Hawking. We didn't need Stephen. Einstein was good enough to know what we know. Really? I mean, to be honest, Einstein didn't say anything about the theory of... so Einstein had the theory of relativity, right? But then didn't Stephen Hawking like make the theory of everything? He was kind of working on it. And then he had some points that he proved wrong from Einstein's theory. I'm pretty sure he like says something about the even the theory of relativity. There was something that he was actually trying to prove. Stephen Hawking proved Einstein wrong. Let me just check. Okay, by the way, Stephen Hawking made no waves involved in what we would know without him with technology. Okay, here's the thing. Stephen Hawking did not actually, I misquoted it. Stephen Hawking did not actually prove Einstein wrong, but rather expanded upon Albert Einstein's general theory of relativity by incorporating quantum mechanics. So he's talking about quantum mechanics, right? Hawking's most famous finding, Hawking radiation, showed that black holes are not perfectly black, but emit radiation and slowly lose mass. But they emit radiation? So they're not perfectly black and they're emitting radiation. So what is that? What is that radiation, by the way? Is that the light that they're absorbing actually? Levantine, aren't you the guy that paid for my groceries? Um, I don't know if I ever paid for anybody's groceries, to be honest. But being in Einstein era, the amount he knew was insane. That is why Einstein is considered one of the greatest scientists of all time. Who is your favorite scientist of all time, by the way? I'm giving you the options. Guys who have made like the most impact in science. You have Einstein, you have Newton. Who else made waves? I mean, Tesla is pretty underrated. I think Tesla was able to do a lot of stuff, but he doesn't get the credit. He doesn't get the same credit. But who do you think is the greatest? And I'm also going to put out some of the philosophers as well, like Aristotle, maybe. I mean, those guys from that time, like 3,000 years ago, the knowledge that they had was kind of unbelievable. Won't change the fact about island. Yeah, it wouldn't change the fact about island. Yeah, it doesn't matter how much research you do. You still work with the kids on the island. So yeah, that's pretty bad. Kalen, you're saying Tesla is your favorite scientist. My favorite is Nikola. Also, your favorite is also Nikola Tesla. Okay, let's look at the contributions of Tesla actually. So he did the alternating current power system, the induction motors, the Tesla coil, early radio technology. I mean, radio technology at that time would have been something crazy. We're talking 1891, guys. This is unbelievable. Oh, that the bulb thing, Edison. You think you actually stole it from Tesla? Rive frequencies. Remote control. He demonstrated the first radio controlled vessels in 1898, foreshadowing robotics and drone technology. Lighting and X rays. He developed early visions of neon and fluorescent lighting and experimented with the X ray imaging, producing early showers. Oh, he's done a lot of stuff, bro. Even the wireless stuff, actually. Although never fully realized, his work on the Wardenclyffe Tower project sought to transmit electric power wirelessly across the globe. Electric power wirelessly throughout the globe. Kind of crazy. Okay, so you're saying Edison actually stole the idea from Tesla? I mean, Google is not accepting it, but we don't know, right? Google is not going to give you all the information. There's no evidence that Thomas Edison stole patents or inventions from Nikola Tesla, though the two were bitter rivals with significant personal and professional disputes. Edison did not steal from Tesla, but rather opposed him, favoring his own direct current system over Tesla's superior alternating current system. Okay, but Tesla was the first one to actually bring the alternative current system, and then I'm guessing because he was trying to oppose it, he brought his like DC current system, direct current, alternating current. Yeah, Edison pulled him down a lot, else Tesla is deemed to have a higher IQ than Einstein. What was the IQ of Tesla, by the way? I'm sure he didn't actually sit for the IQ test, but like, is that like coming from the people of that time where they're saying that Tesla was like way smarter than Einstein? Was that because of that? Trump's uncle John Trump, look him up. Was Jimmy Cricket the best cricket player of all time? I don't even know who Jiminy Cricket is. Is that like a joke or is he actually like a cricket player? According to me, the best cricket player of all time. Many people say that Brandon was now John Bradman. Many people say John Bradman. I've never seen him watch like I've never watched him like actually play. I think Sachin Tendulkar, if you're looking at the batsman, probably the greatest batsman of all time. But again, it depends like what you're looking at. Are you looking at the best bowler? Are you looking at the best batsman? Wasim Akram was like one of the best bowlers. You have Glenn McGrath, also one of the best bowlers. AC is way more effective than DC. Must Edison imposed DC. Don Bradman it is. I mean, Don Bradman was definitely a legend. Okay. Trump's uncle, John Trump. I'm gonna have to look him up. John Trump. John G. Trump. American electrical engineer and professor. Wow. 1907 was an American electrical engineer and professor at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Donald Trump's paternal uncle, John George Trump, was an electrical engineer, inventor, and physicist who developed rotational radiation therapy, and together with Robert J. Van de Graaff, one of the first million volt X-ray generators. How do you guys know about this stuff? That's kind of crazy. I mean, does he get a lot of recognition, by the way? John G. Trump. Like when it comes to science and like studying the in the textbook about the scientists. I've never seen John J. Trump's name actually. John Trump worked at MIT, high voltage generators technology. All right, I see it. Pretty smart guy. Our era, it's Virat Kohli. Virat Kohli is definitely a legend. I prefer him over Babar Azam, by the way, because I've never seen Babar Azam actually doing good while they're chasing the scores and against a good team. Most of his centuries are against weaker teams like Bangladesh or like Zimbabwe. He has a lot of centuries against Zimbabwe, but he doesn't perform against the highest level teams, and especially when the Pakistan is actually chasing. Everyone's favorite scientist is Robert Oppenheimer. Not gonna lie. Oh, are you talking about the guy who actually made the atomic bomb? But even he got the idea from like Einstein, right? Einstein did give him the idea. Bro, you look a lot like the German actor Dieter Piaf. Holy shit, look him up. Arthur, Dieter Piaf. I don't even know who that guy is. I don't want to look like him, to be honest. Oh my god, dude. I don't think I look like him. Holy shit, dude. Unbelievable. If you said like Tom Cruise or like, I don't know, like Brad Pitt or someone, I would have taken that as a compliment. Guys, do not even check this guy out. That is unbelievable. Holy shit, bro. Like, I do not even. No part of my body actually looks like him, to be honest. Like, his face is fat, his body is fat. Crazy. No, because they're like to be keep quiet. You look, Zimbabwe for a reason. Yeah, Zimbabwe for a reason. That is true. I'm just playing. Thank God, Arthur. Hi, Lom Pixel Noter. How are you doing? Okay. Who believes in the nobody actually hurt me? Do I look hurt, by the way? Are you talking about like emotional hurting, or are you talking about like physically hurting? What are we talking about? By the way, guys, who believes in the theory of the collective consciousness, which is a theory, by the way, that our consciousness is not separated? So my consciousness, your consciousness is actually like one big collective consciousness, and all of the smaller consciousnesses are just like smaller parts of that big consciousness, and that consciousness is outside like a space and time, and then we do not have the ability to access it right now, but we can through spiritual means. Some people actually do it, like let's say meditation and stuff. They can actually access it somehow, a little bit of it. But then the outside consciousness is completely like a fundamental thing. So all the matter in the universe that we have right now, it doesn't actually exist. So it's just like an illusion of the brain. Your brain is actually creating those pictures, and it doesn't actually exist. Like this laptop, I am touching it, I'm feeling it, but it's just the electrical wiring in my system, my brain, that is actually making those images for me, and then the way for me to actually feel it. But actually everything, the most important, the most fundamental thing is actually the collective consciousness. I can give you the name of the scientist who actually came up with that theory as well. And by the way, this is not like a very uncommon, this is not a very unpopular idea. Most of the like the high energy physicists right now, they actually believe in that. They actually believe in that stuff. But it's not, it doesn't get the mainstream recognition because it's a very complicated idea to actually get for the normal people to actually understand it. Are you Sikh or Hindu? I'm neither of these. I am a Muslim, but I do have a lot of respect for both of them. Bro is not Socrates. Uh, I am not. Maybe I am. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm like the second coming of Socrates. Nobody hurt me. Yeah, you look borderline homeless hurt. Why is that? Lom, are you trying to hurt me actually? I'm not homeless. I mean, I have nothing against homeless people. What the fuck are you even talking about? I'm talking about like random stuff to be honest, but I was talking about like collective consciousness. Like, what is your theory about like the us human beings actually coming into existence? What do you think the matter is actually made up of? What do you think is the actual reality? Do you believe in like hell and heaven? What do you think is going to happen after we die? Do you have any thoughts about this? Do you believe in any sort of religions? Do you think religion was just like a plan created to actually control the masses? Do you believe that God actually exists? And what form does the God actually exist in? Is that like some old man in the sky, or is it just like energy, basically just a source where everything just came from? Right now, the collective consciousness is fear. Uh, I don't know. Do you mean like in a literal sense, like fear is actually collective consciousness, or are you saying that people are afraid of that idea? And bro just talking with himself. No, I am talking to like a few people right now. Would you beat the great Khali in arm wrestling? No, I'm not beating him. I watch his Instagram reels sometimes, by the way. I do watch him like going against like women. Oh, by the way, I can. If he takes it easy on me like he's been doing with a beautiful woman, I don't think I fall in the same category, but if he sees no competition, he might actually just give me that. What do you think? Which idea do you think actually makes the most sense? Which idea, which conspiracy theories actually, I would say, makes the most sense right now? There's so many conspiracy theories coming right now, and some of them actually are the ones that actually do make sense. I believe that the question you're asking are very valid, and as per our capabilities, at Huma at this time, we don't have answers to many questions. Yeah, we do not have answers to many questions, but we can always do research and we can always look at our surroundings and see what actually makes the most sense. Like the thing about the afterlife, right? And let's look at the Big Bang Theory actually. Does the Big Bang Theory actually makes the most sense to you guys? Like when they say the universe actually had a beginning, uh, the whole everything actually just came from like one black hole. It kind of exploded, and then you have the whole universe it just coming into existence. Um, and then, but then where did the life actually come from? So you had like all the matter actually spreading and there's no consciousness around. I think to me the consciousness had to be around even when the Big Bang actually happened. And I'm not going completely against the theory of the Big Bang. I believe that it is possible that the universe had a beginning, but there must have been something before the universe as well. So the universe could have the beginning, but universe is not the only thing present in this space. There must have been something else. Fear manifests in the collective war instability. That is true. I mean, it's pretty messed up like everywhere right now. If you're talking which idea makes the most sense, evolution makes the most sense. But still, if you say we came from nothing and you go to nothing, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, that's what I was talking. That's what I was actually referring to, actually. There had to be something. It could be nothing, and we came from nothingness and we go to nothingness. Yes. Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Let me find out the name of the scientist who actually has a theory about like the collective consciousness, and it's very interesting actually. And by the way, what do you guys think? Do you think that only the human beings have the consciousness? But because when it comes to like the other living beings, you would say that those things do not have the same level of consciousness. But when it comes to like non-living things, people mostly have the common conception that this protein shake doesn't have any consciousness because it's not breathing, it's not alive. But how do we know what is alive and what is not? It's all very limited definition of being alive and being dead, which is that something that is like breathing oxygen in and something that is exhaling carbon dioxide, or something that has the blood flowing in their veins is alive, and everything else is kind of dead, and nothing else actually thinks or nothing else can actually hear. But we've actually seen some of the proof that even the non-living things have the functionality. Like even the fact that AI is working right now, right? And you can make robots do things, and then you can actually say, okay, robots are not actually doing the things themselves. They're not actually doing the thinking themselves, but it's human operating on the robots, and they're actually making them do those things with the programming. But robot is actually following the command of the language that you're writing. So they do have the functionality. They can perform the functionality, which means they have the consciousness to some extent. There had to be something. Let me actually give you the name of the scientist. The scientist that came up with the idea of collective consciousness. uh, uh, yeah, so it was the French sociologist Amélie Durkheim, 1858 to 1917, introduced the concept of collective consciousness. That's the one that I'm talking about. In his seminal 1893 work, I didn't know that it was that old actually, The Division of Labor in Society. Durkheim defined it as the totality of beliefs and sentiments common to the average numbers of the society. It is a shared understanding, norms, and values that act as a unifying force, standing apart from and superior to individual consciousnesses. So there's like a big consciousness that is superior to the individual consciousnesses. By the way, this is a very friendly idea to even the religious ideologies where you believe there's a collective consciousness outside. So you can take this collective consciousness as like God. Do you know, even in religions, like when Muhammad actually when Muhammad was trying to preach people, and then he had kafirs, which were the people at that time that were trying to kill Muhammad. They were throwing stones at Muhammad actually, and God actually gave the order to Muhammad. God actually told Muhammad, when they're throwing stones at you, they're not actually throwing stones at you, they're throwing stones at me. And when they're saying vulgar things to you, they're not actually saying vulgar things to you, they're saying vulgar things to me, which means that you are sort of like part of me. Now you're wrong about things having consciousness. We human put a label on living things because when the living matter dies, or let's say the heart stops breathing, they go to nothing. They disappear. By the way, bro, have you not seen the theories coming up about the sun and about the earth? Some people actually believe that the universe itself is breathing. The earth itself is alive. Earth has actually got a heart. If you go miles away, millions of miles away from Earth, and you actually record, you get a chance to record Earth from there, you're going to be able to see the, I don't know if you can actually sense the waves, but there's ways you can actually see that the earth is actually breathing. You know, some of the religions, like the old religions, actually believe that earth is your mother and sun is your daddy. Forget all of this. Let's talk about something more manly. What is more manly than this? What is more manly than the beginning of this universe? What is more manly than the creator who's created this universe? There's nothing that can be more manly than this. Give me an example, actually. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the this belief of like the totality and collective consciousness, but I'm saying it doesn't go against the belief of the religion. Just because they're saying that there is a collective consciousness outside, and we human beings, all of our consciousnesses, like the smaller portions of the consciousnesses that constitute like a bigger consciousness, it is actually very much like the idea of the religion, which believes that we are part of God. Basically, we are the sons of God. We are the to God, we are like the kids. We actually came from God. That's like saying a goat is alive, we call it living, but then it dies and the bones are alive too, but they're alive in a different sense, so it's not a goat anymore. So when the goat dies, it's not goat anymore, it's different parts of the goat. It's like a bone is a part itself. That bone is probably alive in a different sense. It doesn't have the same consciousness. I'm not, in no way I'm saying that it's got the same consciousness as like a goat. So maybe bone has got less of a consciousness. Do you believe, by the way, there's stories about Judgment Day? Like on Judgment Day, God is going to ask you, like, what did you do actually? How did you treat your neighbors? How did you treat your mother? How did you treat your relatives? And then you're probably going to lie about this. You're going to say, God, I didn't. I was trying to like treat them very well, but I couldn't. You try to make up stuff, right? Like you try to get away with stuff. But then your hands will actually catch you. Your hands will say, no, he slapped his mother. He slapped his mother. The hand is going to be like, he used me to slap his mother. And then your leg is going to be like, he used this leg to actually commit a crime somewhere. So that's what I'm saying. Like your hands, it could also be that you've got this hand, right? It's part of your body. Am I the one controlling the hand? Just I'm the one controlling the hand. So I'm like a being, I'm like an alive being. But this hand itself could be a being as well. It's a lower rank being. It's a being attached to me, but it could be like a lower rank being. It could have like a brain of itself. It could, maybe the hand has a thinking of itself, but right now it's controlled by me because it's living inside of me. I've got like hold over the hand. Versus Earth was mom and son was dad because they had limited information. Yes, it's present at the moment you see it, you can touch it, but it's not living per se. Do you know? I don't know. Maybe you can disagree with this. So, by the way, I'm not saying that I 100% believe in this. I'm saying like there could be something to it. Like there's so many theories. Like which one to actually believe? Like it's hard to actually say anything for with like 100% confidence. Like there's so many religions, right? There is Islam, there's Christianity, there's Judaism. Which one is the actual? Which one is the true one? It's so hard to say 100% with 100% certainty. Like which one is true? Which one is a correct belief? Which is the theory of Big Bang the correct one? Do you know Dawood Ibrahim? Yeah, I know Dawood. I know Dawood was the he was the father of Solomon. He was the one who actually built the temple first. Ibrahim was the one who actually started Judaism, basically the actual Judaism. The monotheistic religions believe in one God. Call Ambler is saying Tommy Robinson. I know you're calling Tommy Robinson because you don't want my kind here. By the way, what's the deal with Tommy Robinson and the and brown? I wouldn't even say necessarily brown people. Tommy Robinson and Pakistani people. He would mention Pakistani people all the time. It was like most of the Pakistani people are actually committing like sexual harassment and that. And to be honest, if anybody is committing sexual harassment, you gotta chop their dicks off. You better make sure. But I think Tommy is just kind of fed up with this. Now, hand is not a lower rank being because you have to control it. Um, every action the hand makes, your brain processed it beforehand. Some things happen subconsciously, but it's still your brain. Okay, what is a muscle memory then? What is a muscle memory? If you're thinking about every single thing, then what is a muscle memory? Your hand has a muscle memory, your legs have the muscle memory. I mean, I'm the guy who does martial arts. So when I go back to martial arts after a long period of time, I have to take a bit of time to actually get my muscle memory back. But my hands do remember some of the things. My hands do remember how to punch. My hands do remember how to react when somebody's trying to attack me and like those things. My brain is not processing all the information on the spot. Like, I don't think my brain is that good that can actually make the decisions that fast, especially in the combat sports where you don't get enough time to actually do it. I think there's something, there's more to it. There's like the body parts have their own memory and they can sort of like make their own decisions. Like, would you quit being a Muslim for $2 million? Bro, I would never quit being a Muslim unless I don't believe in it, unless I stop believing in it. That would be the only time. Your brain making your muscle, nerves, and everything move. My brain is actually, so the nerves are actually, okay, here's the thing, right? There's scientific evolutions happening over here as well. Every day we're learning something new. First, we were believing that all the neurons actually come from the brain, but now we believe that your body parts actually have their own neurons as well, especially the heart. So your heart actually does have its own neurons as well. You know, like the old people used to say, like, think with your heart sometimes. Like, think with your heart, don't think with your brain, because your brain is kind of doing the logical thinking, but your heart actually gives you the intuition sometimes. So they are saying that your heart actually has the neurons as well. So your heart can actually do the thinking too. Maybe it's more like intuition type of thinking. Now, muscle memory is your brain layers over time. Dude, let me just read about this. Does can your body parts actually think? Can your body parts think? Yes, in a manner of speaking, parts of your body can think, though not in the same conscious, verbal way your brain does. Modern science suggests that intelligence is distributed throughout the nervous system, with various parts of the body having the ability to process information and act independently of the brain. By the way, modern science suggests that intelligence is distributed throughout the nervous system, with various parts of the body having the ability to process information and act independently of the brain. This is modern science, by the way. I'm not making this up. Okay, here is how different body parts engage in thinking or independent action. The brain in your gut. By the way, do you know what they tell you about like the gut feeling? Oh, I have a gut feeling today. The gastrointestinal tract contains a network of over 100 million neurons. So neurons are just not the brain, you smart guy. Oh, dude, the neurons are present everywhere. They're not just present in the brain. Just like an old theory that your brain has all the neurons and your brain is the one actually firing neurons everywhere. That's not true. We're so much more advanced now. We've done more. We've got more technology now. We've been observed or able to observe like more phenomena now. So gastrointestinal tract contains a network of over 100 million neurons, often called the enteric nervous system or the second brain. This system operates independently of the brain to manage digestion and can influence emotions and feelings. Do you know how the gut, dude, it changes it. So if you don't actually eat well, or if you have like a gut pain or there's something else going on in your gut, it affects your emotions. So sometimes you'll be feeling sad, and sometimes you'll be feeling very happy, and like you're very lively, and sometimes you're feeling energetic. Do you know how they say like you gotta eat the right things that would have actually affect your health? That does. It even affects your mental health. So the gut feeling is actually a real thing. Science is proving it. It's not just your old people, your older generations. It's not just your grandma telling you that gut is an actual gut feeling is like an actual thing. It's the science right now. The modern science is telling you that. Why do some Muslims have a prayer bump on forehead? I don't really know, man. I think there's a saying about this that those guys are closer to God if they have like a prayer bump on the forehead. It's like a circular shaped one, right? Like a dark circular shaped one. I don't know how true that is, by the way. Spinal cord reflexes. We could go on and on, but in the end, we will both just agree that there's some questions we don't have answers to, and that's it. So no concrete answers, just theories to talk about. Yes, I do agree with this. I mean, there's no concrete answers, but the more you actually discover, the you can make some of the assumptions and the new theories based on the information that you have. Obviously, in the past, we didn't have as much information. We have spent a lot of time in this universe now. How many generations have passed, and we've been able to pass all the knowledge throughout. And right now, we have the ability to actually store the books, store the information on the cloud. So there's more information than ever before right now. So there's more theories. Uh, there's more stuff that we can actually come up with, right? I feel like there's much more we can do. The spinal cord acts as a highway for signals, but it also handles reflexive actions automatically, such as moving your hand away from a hot stove before your brain can registers pain. Before your brain even registers pain, such as moving your hand away from a hot stove. See? Even that's without the brain. Muscle memory. When learning activities like playing a musical instrument or sport, your muscles and nervous systems develop muscle memory, enabling complex, rapid movements without active conscious thought. So even that is without the active conscious thought from the brain, because those parts of the body also have neurons, and they just save the memory inside those. When neurons wouldn't actually save the memory inside, but I guess like the where the memory is actually saved. It's like DNA that actually saves the memory. Search if any scientists are. We're not getting any new information. We're just getting access to the same old information because. Search if any scientists are working in the theory of evolution or anything related to consciousness. Any scientists right now? I'm not sure if there are any. Okay, so I'm just checking which scientists are working on the evolution theory. Modern evolutionary theory is advanced by a diverse group of scientists exploring genetics development and ecology to expand on Darwin's original work. Key researchers include Sean B. Carroll. I think I know this guy. I think I know Sean B. Carroll. He's actually, I find him a very smart guy. Richard Lenski, microbial evolution. Then you have Eva Jablonka, epigenetic inheritance. I'll be interested in that one. And Michael Lynch, genome evolution, along with researchers exploring the third way of evolution, like Abir Berdiev. Do you think so? You believe in the theory of evolution? Do you actually believe that humans actually came from something else? Like the last shape that we had was potentially the monkeys or like gorillas, chimpanzees. Do you believe in the theory of evolution? Do you believe it from the very beginning to the very end that first there was like a small cell and everything just came from a small cell and it took on different forms and different shapes, and only humans were the ones who were evolved to some extent, to such extent that they could actually pass information. They can actually store a lot of data, unlike the other animals that didn't evolve as much when it comes to like the when it comes to the brain, when it comes to actually assessing information, reflecting on the mistakes that you're making. It's kind of very sort of like very unique to human beings, that sort of characteristics, because there are other animals that are evolving as well. They're learning new things, but are they actually reflecting on their life? I think this is very unique to human beings. They were working based on Darwin theory. I think they're kind of working based on the Darwin theory, to be honest. Uh, yeah, they're kind of expanding on Darwin's original work. Um, I don't know what the third way of evolution actually means, to be honest. There's one guy along with the researchers exploring the third way of evolution. I don't know what that means, by the way, third way of evolution. I'm not familiar with the term. Um, yeah, Sean B. Carroll is a leader in understanding how the genetics actually shape the development. That would be interesting. If you do enough experimentation on the theories, you can actually prove it. But again, it takes a long time. Like with the theory of evolution, right? How many generations do you actually have to live? So when did Darwin actually give the theory of evolution? I don't know how many years ago that was, but then how many years do you have to live? How many generations have to see that to actually have enough time to see the evolution happening in real time? So maybe like 400 years, 500 years, if you could see any visual evolution in the human beings, or maybe like the dogs and the cats, because dogs and the cats are have their future completely changed. So dogs and cats used to be like wild animals, but now they're getting pet by the human beings. And I'm pretty sure in the 200 years, next 200 years, 300 years, it's going to increase even more. Like you might not even have wild cats and wild dogs outside. Everything might just be a pet. All of those animals might just be a pet. So, I mean, then you might be able to see a different type of evolution happening within those animals. Little Jeff, how's it going? Mm, mm, mm. Who here believes in evolution, by the way? So Darwin gave the theory of evolution in 1858. That's what we were talking about. Like that's not enough time. 1858. That's like 150 years ago. So in 150 years, how much evolution can you actually see? I don't think that's enough time. I think we're gonna need at least like 500 years to see any visual evidence of evolution in human beings or other animals. That's just not. Yeah, it's just not enough time. Grandson and daughter were Neanderthals and stuff like that. I mean, Neanderthals, that is also true, but Neanderthal was also like a different species. So you had human beings actually breeding with the Neanderthals. That's also true. So we had like an older form of the human beings, which were like a long time ago. But then even the modern human beings, they were present like 50,000 years ago, like 60,000 years ago. And they were actually breeding with the Neanderthals. And by the way, there's a theory that Neanderthals actually went out of existence because they had a lot of wars with the human beings. So there was like a lot of bloodshed. Maybe the human beings were greater in numbers, and that's why they were able to dominate Neanderthals. And also because there was like a meteorite that actually fell down, and Neanderthals were living at the place where the meteorite fell down, so they just completely went out of existence. So there's like a bunch of factors that happened, but Neanderthals were a different species. They were the species of the human beings, but not the modern Homo sapien human beings. Full humans, as we label it today, it's not different species. It's literally our ancestors. We can say that they were our ancestors, but are we gonna call them like the modern human beings? We cannot call them modern human beings. We can call them like an old species of the historic I don't even know if you want to call them like a stone age man. You don't even want to call them that because they were not actually human beings. I'm doing good, wise guy. How's it going? Uh we came from their semen, to be exact, as per Darwin theory of evolution. And by the way, with Neanderthals, right? There's a lot of races that have like the Neanderthal DNA in them. Like you have the people from the Caucasus region, so white people and the brown people. Most of the brown people actually have Neanderthal DNA in us. And people from like Thailand and like East Asian countries, they also have a portion of the Denisovan DNA in there as well. But I think people from like East African or the West African countries, they don't have the Neanderthal or the Denisovan DNA in their body. So maybe there's that's why there's like genetic changes coming, and I don't know what to what extent they actually affected our human biology. Maybe the talents, like there are people that are good at some of the things, but out of all the people I would have expected like Africans to have like the Neanderthal DNA to some extent, because apparently Neanderthals were short and stocky, but they were quite powerful. They were like us on like steroids, like let's say like the us midgets. I would say midgets because they were like 5'2", 5'3", but like some of them like 5'6", right? They were not tall. Maybe the biggest Neanderthal was like 5'10" or 5'11", but they were not tall. But they were very stocky and they were heavier than human beings. Like the average weight of Neanderthal was like 100 kgs, I think, which is much higher than human beings. But they could deadlift like 200 kgs without any sort of like training. Like Neanderthals were much stronger than human beings. Like with me, I can deadlift probably like 160, 170, but I had to train for it. But with Neanderthals, they could just do it without training. Um, mm, and then stopped evolving after this. Bro, how do you know that the evolution is not happening right now, by the way? Because we don't have a lot of, we do have historical evidence of what the human beings actually look like, but we don't actually have the pictorial evidence, right? So we do have paintings where we can see that human beings actually look like this, or like Alexander the Great actually looked like this or that, but we don't have photographs of them. So maybe there's like some sort of evolution happening. Maybe I'm pretty sure the facial features are actually kind of changing. And just like we were talking about, like the consciousness, right? So the consciousness is kind of changing. People are having different lifestyles. We don't have to live exactly the same way. People are using a lot of electronic devices. We don't have to run as much. By the way, dude, you don't think there will be like some sort of evolution in our feet? Because when we go back to the people, when we go back to the Stone Age people, I'm talking like 10,000 years ago, like 15,000 years ago, right? Those people actually had to work to save their lives from the animals. Like those people are just running around. That's why they had to do a lot of running, and they were running barefoot. Actually, I don't wanna make any claims about the timeline. I don't know when people actually started wearing like any protection on the feet, like shoes and proper clothing. I don't know when that started. I don't know if people 10,000 years ago had anything on their feet. But I'm just saying, people who didn't have it, so people before that time, were running barefooted, and they were running pretty fast. There's like an evidence of guys running at like 26 miles per hour, or something like this, which is like 26 to 28, which is like the same speed at Usain Bolt, but without the shoes. He was doing that like thousands of years ago. So I am pretty sure there must have been some evolution in the feet, like with the toes, with the grip, the foot grip. And I read like a research about this as well. Like if the human beings continue the same trend, if we just keep the shoes on all the time, then we will lose some of the grip that we have with the toes. Uh, you should really learn about Darwin theory, because before you start talking about this stuff, you don't understand the basic concept of evolution. What is the basic concept of evolution? It's the survival of the fittest, right? It's the way the evolution is happening. The organism actually tend to reproduce. The organisms tend to grow, and so only the fittest actually survive. Which books we have about humans? Probably the Hindu books, the four Vedas that have stories and stuff. Not just math calculations. Yeah, there's a lot of books, and you can actually read a lot about the history. But I'm just saying the visual evidence that you have is not much. Like you have the paintings, you have the statues, but how much can you tell that they were looking exactly like us? And dude, it's not even about like, oh, having 2 ears, or they have the same nose, or they have the same eyes. I'm talking about like the facial features. I'm talking about like the expressions that we actually put on our faces. Like those guys, they were fighting for their survival, to be honest. Those guys didn't have as much food, so I'm pretty sure their facial features would be completely different. They would have more of like a fighter's face, because they're fighting with their life the whole time. We're kind of happy. Like our lifestyle is much more relaxed. We don't have to fight for survival anymore. It doesn't exist. Like the world wars have happened, and I know the situations get worse, but it's much different now. Okay, let's read about the human evolution right now. Like let me pull up the human evolution. Like how many phases have we seen human evolution? All right, we're starting with human evolution. Okay, so we're talking like um Yeah, Vedas are probably the oldest ones, actually. They are probably the oldest ones. Human evolution is a 6 million year process by which modern humans, Homo sapiens, emerged from ape like ancestors in Africa. Key developments included bipedalism. Yeah, bipedalism is like, yeah, having 2 feet and 2 hands. Walking upright 4 million years ago, tool use and rapid brain expansion. So, brain expansion, it means our brains are bigger than the other animals that we actually emerged from. But I think in the last million years, the brain has actually not grown in size. So, the brain that we had of a human being a million years ago was exactly the same brain that we have today. So, we don't even have any claim to say that we are smarter than them, actually, including Neanderthals and Australopithecans, yeah, I think the original people of Australia actually had the DNA. Okay, so split from chimpanzees, according to the research, is that humans and chimpanzees shared a common ancestor about 7 to 8 million years ago in Africa. Early bipeds, that's 6 to 4 million years ago. Species like Sahelanthropus and Orange started walking upright. Australopithecus, that was 2 to 4 million years ago. Those early hominins, such as Lucy, were consistent bipeds. Oh, Lucy's is the one that they actually found the structure of. Yeah, they actually there was a lot of hype around Lucy actually, because according to many people, Lucy was looking exactly the same as a modern human being. But now they're saying she wasn't a modern human being. She was early hominins, and she was one of the Australopithecus. And then you have genus Homo 2.5 million years ago to present. Then you have Homo habilis 2.4 million years ago, first species known to create stone tools. Dude, I didn't know it was that old. Like 2.4 million years ago, human beings were actually creating stone tools. It's kind of insane. Then you had Homo erectus 1.8 million years ago, developed larger brains, used fire, and were the first to migrate out of Africa. So 1.8 million years ago, Homo erectus had the larger brains. So would their brains be the same size as human beings? Because I heard somewhere that Homo erectus had actually got bigger brains than even Homo sapiens. But they were using the firepower. That's pretty impressive. Homo sapiens, then you have 300,000 years ago. Modern humans evolved in Africa and eventually spread worldwide. Bipedalism enabled walking on two legs, likely in response to changing drier environments, allowing for foraging and reduced sun exposure. I do understand that it would reduce the sun exposure. If you're walking straight instead of like on four legs, you would be less exposed to the sun. It would be easy to hide as well underneath like a tree or something. Brain evolution. A dramatic increase in brain size and complexity occurred over time, linked to tool creation and complex social structures. Yeah, I mean, that would actually increase your brain power. Mr. E, Mega love you long time. Mega love you long time. Mega does not love me. I was one of the guys who actually kind of backed them in 2024. They kind of did not live up to any of the promises. What promises did they actually live up to? A freedom of speech? No, it's not happening right now. Wars? Yes, we're going to wars in every single country on the planet right now. Economy is definitely not better, and that's why we had to start the war, because it was not Epstein files. We actually took a long time to release them, and even still now we haven't released all of the Epstein files. That's not happened. Okay, the use of fire and cooking provided more energy, contributing to brain growth. True talk, my brother. Thank you, man. Thank you, Mr. Eve. I appreciate that somebody actually recognizing it. Interbreeding. As Homo sapiens expanded, the interbred with other groups like Neanderthals in Europe and Denisovans in Asia. This is what I'm talking about. I think Denisovans were living in the mountains, in the mountainish area. A lot of people from like the East Asian ethnicity have got the Denisovans DNA. Complex behavior, sophisticated language, art, and symbolic expression emerged in the last 100,000 years ago. Yeah, even that's like a long time ago, to be honest. So you think people actually started speaking the languages like 100,000 years ago? They were making the languages. While many early hominin species were once considered direct ancestors, science now views them as complex, often overlapping and frequently branching a family tree today.
Homo sapiens is the only surviving member of this once diverse homini. Um, yes, why our ability to adapt in is humanity's superpower. The ability to adapt. You don't think other animals are actually adapting when it comes to, like, let's say cats and dogs? Do you not think that they are adapting? Some people actually believe that the pets have actually found a way to control human beings to do things for them, because it was quite hard for, like, the cats and dogs. They had to live, they had to hunt to actually survive. They basically had to find food, and it was really hard for them. Not being the biggest animal, it must have been really hard for them. But then they actually found a way through the human beings to actually make them take care of you and not face the not had to actually actively hunt for the food, and not actually had to actively protect themselves from the other bigger animals. So that's a pretty smart strategy, actually. And it could just be like intuitively, it could just be like a non-planned thing, but something that the intuition, something that came with the intuition. So it is a possibility. So I'm not saying that, I don't personally believe that it's only the human beings that actually have the ability to adapt. I think other animals can also adapt. Um, okay, let's say what this article is saying though. That's why there's 9 billion of us and not 9 billion of some other primates. Why our ability to adapt is humanity's superpower. Life Science spoke with Herman Ponzer, an evolutionary anthropologist and author of the book Adaptable, about the science of human diversity. What is he saying? Humans have evolved the ability to live anywhere on Earth thanks to gradual changes to our biology and our knack for developing new technologies like clothes and shelter. This adaptability is often touted as being unique to our species. Is that adaptability, by the way, or is that opposite to adaptability? Because if we could adapt to just anything, then I think we would not even bother to create those new technologies and those weapons. We would just be happy with it. But I guess it's the discomfort in those things. It's the what's the word for that? It's the willingness to make our lifestyles better. Is to be able to find something new that could add. It's the creativity, basically. Humans are creative, the other animals are not creative. So I don't know if adaptable is kind of like the best word. It's just the creativity that human beings actually possess, I would say. Okay, now my article is actually getting blocked, so I'm not going to be able to see it. Guys, I might actually have to come off the stream. If you guys haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do it. That would mean a lot to me. I've already done a long stream today, so I'm probably gonna leave. But yeah, just have a good one, and thanks for joining my stream.